Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to build SQL Server 2022 DBA real-time home lab in VMware Workstation. So before proceeding this, we need minimum hardware requirements to build this in your home laptop. First, virtualization support has to be there in your BIOS, 8 GB RAM. Okay, minimum 8 GB RAM. Okay, 2.5 GB processor or more, 500 GB hard disk or 1 TB, and that preferable should be SSD. Okay, why? Because the practical will go very longer. So coming to this is the hardware requirements. Coming to software requirements, we need 64-bit OS, either starting from Windows 7, 8, 10 or 11. Okay, so any VMware workstation or Hyper-V or VirtualBox. So I'm addicted to the VMware workstation. I'm showing all this in VMware workstation. You can do this in Hyper-V as well and virtual Oracle VirtualBox as well. So coming to SQL Server 2022 and Windows Server 2022. So here coming to my environment, I am having 32 GB RAM, 1 TB SSD hard disk and also 1 TB normal hard disk. So I am having Intel CPU with physical cores and support is also enabled. So all physical cores will be converted into virtual cores. So as in double. So 4 into 2 is equal to 8. So I am having totally 8 cores now. So I'm using Windows 10 64-bit OS and VMware Workstation 17 Pro. Okay, so this is the environment I'm going to build. So this is my Active Directory, this is my member server, and this is the member server of Node 2. Okay, so here 4 GB, 8 GB, 8 GB. So this is the 50 GB I'm going to give in the bridge. 1, 2 in bridge. So these are the node 1 and node 2 are going to part of the cluster. So I'm for private heartbeat. Okay, I'm giving another IP NIC card with a different IP address so that on these two address these nodes are will communicate each other. Okay. For error free troubleshooting, so all members should be part of the domain. Firewall should be off. We need to check the communication between domain and member servers, and we need to check the NS lookup is working or not. We need to check that, and vice versa IP. And we need to log in with the domain administrator or user with having domain privileges everywhere, so that we don't encounter any errors. After that, first we need to enable virtualization in the BIOS. We need to install VMware Workstation and we need to deploy 3 OS. After deploying OS, we need to install VMware tools. So since we are installing on the VMware, so this is the we need to install that. So we need to disable IPv6 and configure IPv6 as shown in the demo video picture. So we need to install extra network adapter for node 2 and node 3 for heartbeat purpose. We need to install Active Directory and configure forward lookup zone recovery zone in Domain OS. So we need to disable the password complexity policy in domain. This is an optional. Why? Because since it all OS are configured under control of mine, so I don't want to enter complex password, very big password and again. So we need to disable the public private IP address domain firewalls. Okay, once you added the node member servers into domain, so one more firewall will get added, that is called domain firewall. We need to disable that. So we need to disable the private firewalls in node 1, node 2. Okay, join the node 1 and node 2 to the part of the domain, and we need to disable the firewall. Okay, firewall rule in node 1 and node 2. So we need to install .NET 3.5 framework in node 1 and node 2. So since we don't have much servers, so I am installing ISKC target server and create virtual hard disk in node in the domain OS only. We need to connect ISKC target and initiator and assign drive letters, and drive letters should be same in node 1 and node 2. So we need to install clustering feature in node 1 and node 2. So we need to install cluster automation server feature in node 1 and node 2 as well for active cluster only. If you don't want to build active cluster, then no need to install 17th step. So we need to install SSMS for node 1 and node 2. We need to install standalone SQL server in Hyderabad SQL 22 Hyderabad 01 in node 1 and 02 in node 2. So we need to enable always on feature on both standalone instances in node 1 and node 2 and configure always on. So once we build always on, we need to create the validate and cluster. So we need to node 1 and node 2. Okay, and install SQL Server with our node cluster options. Node 2, install SQL cluster in node 1, node 2, install SQL Server with add a node cluster option in second node. This works as an active SQL cluster. So you can restore any sample database for adventure works for replication practicals. Once we done, we need to configure log shipping, mirroring, transactional replication. So this is all about the overview about what I am going to do right now. Okay, so coming to that, so once you restart the PC or any your laptop, so you need to enter F2 or F11 or F8 or escape or delete button. All these options are specific to the vendor. Some companies will support F12, some companies will support F2. All these options, when you restart, you will get to know. So once you restart the PC and you enter respective button function keys, you will enter into a BIOS. So once you enter into BIOS, we have an option called if you are having Intel CPU only. If you don't have Intel CPU apart from others, no need to do this step. Okay. So once you need to go to the advanced options, Intel virtual technology, you need to enable that. So once you enable this option and restart your PC, once you restart your PC, just go to Task Manager, come to here performance, see, select the CPU. Here you are able to see that virtualization is enabled. So I'm having one socket, four physical cores, eight logical CPU. These are L12 cache, L13 cache, L3 cache. So base speed is 2.80 gigahertz. Okay. Coming to memory, I'm having 32 GB RAM for my in this laptop. Yeah, in that four slots are there. In that I am using only two slots. In one slot 16 GB is used. Okay. So here this coming to disk. Okay. I'm using this disk as you can see that 1 TB hard disk here. Type SSD hard disk. Okay. If you come to here, see this is the normal hard disk. So this is the GPU and an Intel integrated GPU, and it is dedicated NVIDIA graphic card. So these two are not required for us. Okay. So this is all about my environment. Now we will see how to install VMware Workstation in Windows 10 for the practical. Open files. So select VMware Workstation. Right click on this. Click Run as Administrator. So I'm using my serial key. You can use your own serial key. Okay, and next, I accept the terms and in license agreement. Click next. Hey, this option has to be select. Okay, select the option enhance keyboard driver. Press next. These are not required. Uncheck these two check boxes. Click next. Next, install. Press license. Here paste your own license. Press enter. Press restart PC. Since I am recording this video, so I will stop as of now, no here.